Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys this look right here. I really wanted to pull my eyes out and make them very almond shaped. So I'm going to show you guys a technique to do that. And I'm also using the Modern Renaissance palette. This palette is so beautiful. These are the first eyeshadows that I've ever purchased from Anastasia. They are so pigmented and so blendable. This is the palette right here. So it has a beautiful range of colors, and I'm going to stop rambling and let's get into the look. So I already primed and set my eyelids, so I'm going to go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I'm going to pick up this color right here, which is called Bone Fresco, and a Morphe 441 brush. And I'm just going to take this color, starting from the lash line, because you want the most of your pigmentation to be right on that outer corner. And then I'm just slowly going to feather it up into my crease. Now you only want to pick up a very small amount of product at a time and slowly just layer it, because you can add more. It's very difficult to fade out a color once it's already on your eyes. Now taking a Morphe 330, I'm going to pick up a Love Letter, and I'm just basically going to repeat the same steps, but not take this color as high or as far out to the outer corner of the eye as the first shade. Going back in with my Morphe 441 and no additional product, I'm just going to buff out the edges. Using the brush that comes in the palette, I'm going to pick up a Vermeer, and I'm going to be applying this from the inner quarter all the way out to that outer third where we applied Love Letter. Going back in with just a little bit of Love Letter, we're going to diffuse the line between the lid and the outer corner. For the face, I already primed my skin using the Nivea Men's Post Shave Balm, but I am going to go in and add a little bit of the Benefit Professional on my problem areas. So I'm going to take this on my cheeks, my nose, and my chin. For foundation today, I am going to be using the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Glow. And the color I bought is 208. Now this is a little dark for me right now, so I'm going to take a little bit of my L'Oreal True Match in the color N2 just to lighten it up a little. Taking a MAC 190, I'm just going to paint this onto the skin. I'm going to take a little bit down on to my neck. Before I blend that in, I'm going to go in with my Cover FX Correct Click in Orange. And I'm just going to draw a line under each eye to conceal the dark circles. Taking a MAC 159, I'm just going to buff that out, mixing it in with the foundation. Then taking a beauty blender, I'm just going to blend everything out. Now I did get this beauty blender recently. I've never used a beauty blender before. If you've seen my haul, I just bought my first one. And I have noticed that I've actually reached for this more than my Real Technique sponge. But I've been baking and setting my under eye with my Real Technique sponge. But yeah, I've been picking this up more to blend out my foundation and my concealer, which, to be honest, I didn't think was going to happen, but I've been loving it. So I also like to take the foundation onto my ear, especially when I'm wearing my hair up, just to make sure that everything's the same color. For concealer, I'm going to be using two different ones. For under my eyes, I'm going to be using the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye in the color Light. And then to highlight around my face, I'm going to be using the Aveda Concealer in the color Birch. Taking a MAC 287, I'm just going to use this to apply the Bye Bye Under Eye directly where we applied and blended out that orange color corrector. With this concealer, I'm also going to be taking it and with a very light hand, drawing a line under my shadow because we want to give our eyes a very almond pulled up look. Then taking the Aveda concealer, I'm just going to draw a few lines underneath the IT Cosmetics. Then we're going to highlight the normal places down the center of the face. And then I'm going to take that same brush and just lightly buff this out. We're not blending it in completely, but I just like to give it a half blend, I guess you could say, before I go in with the Beauty Blender. Taking the butt of the Beauty Blender, I'm going to blend out the center of my face. Then I'm also going to use the butt to blend out the bottom portion from underneath my eyes. Now before I go and blend out what's directly underneath my eye, I like to get my setting powder ready because I will blend one eye out and then pick up my Real Technique sponge and set it right away. So to set my under eye, I'm going to be using the Coty Airspun, and I believe the color is Translucent Extra Coverage. So I have my Real Technique sponge ready, and I'm going to blend out right underneath my eye. Once it's blended, just taking the Real Technique sponge and setting the under eye area. Now both of these sponges are damp. My Real Technique sponge is way more damp than the Beauty Blender because it just helps with the setting powder to like melt into the skin. Then I'm going to pick up a ton of powder and I'm going to bake my entire under eye area. Now ever since it's gotten warm outside, I have changed up the way that I have set my face. I live in the Chicagoland area, so it's not crazy hot, but it is still pretty warm. So that's why I've started baking my under eye because I do not want my makeup moving at all. So then the next step to set the center of my face, I've been taking my E3 brush from Morphe, picking up some product, and then just using the lid to kind of tap out the excess and move the product around the whole brush. And then I've just been dusting the center of my face. Then just taking whatever's left on the brush, I lightly dust it, very lightly, over the rest of my face. And this is just so when we contour and apply bronzer and blush and everything, that it goes on smoothly and doesn't skip. Now I'm just going to brush off my under eye bake using that same brush. Whatever brushes I use for translucent powders, there are two of them really. I don't ever like to use them for anything else because even if you clean them, and I deep clean my brushes pretty frequently, I just like to make sure that there's never going to be the chance of any residue being left over because I use them strictly for my translucent powders. To contour today, I'm going to be using the NYX Pro Contour Highlight Palette and a MAC 168. And I'm going to be picking up this shade right here to contour my cheekbones, jawline, and hairline. So we're going to take the brush and with the higher part of the angle towards my ear, I'm just going to sculpt out my cheekbones. Taking that same color, bringing it behind my jaw and then along the entire jawline. I'm just going to bring a little bit of powder down on to my 5,000 chins down there. And then when I'm wearing my hair slicked back like this, I like to take the contouring powder and just kind of put it into my very wonky hairline, just to kind of deter from looking there. Then taking no other product on the brush, I'm going to flip it this way and I'm just going to diffuse the line from my contour. Then picking up this shade right here on an angled brush, I'm going to take a very small amount of product and I'm going to contour my nose. Then the last thing I'm going to contour really quick, I'm just going to take my Luxie small contouring brush, the same color we used on the nose, and I'm taking barely any product and tapping off as much as possible. And I'm just going to lightly run this along my bottom lip. Now the reason that I do this is so that when I apply my lipstick, it makes my lips appear plumper. That's also the reason that you highlight your Cupid's bow. So this basically does the same thing to the bottom lip. Now to bronze my face, I'm going to be going in with the NARS Laguna bronzer and a Morphe 527 brush. Going to be bronzing up the cheekbones, the hairline, and then also along the jaw. Now I am going to go in and bake. I am not going to be baking my entire contour. I'm just going to be baking right here because as you can see, my contour is very cut, and then right here it starts to get a little bit muddy. Then I'm also going to be baking my smile lines because that is the only place on my face that I will crease throughout the day because I smile a lot and I'm a little animated when I talk. So I'm going to be taking my RCMA No Color powder and the Crown Pro contouring brush. Now while the baking sits on, I'm going to be applying my blush. And for blush, I'm going to be using this color right here. It is a MAC blush. I do not know the name of it because I depotted it and don't have the name on the back. But it's basically the same color as Love Letter. It's a little bit more purpley. But I'm going to take this Morphe E4 brush and I'm going to take a very small amount of it. And I'm just going to pop this on the apples of my cheeks. For my lower lash line, I'm going to pick up Bone Fresco on a pencil brush and I'm going to put that on my entire lower lash line. Then taking a small definer brush, I'm going to pick up a little bit of Love Letter and I'm going to apply this to the outer half of my lower lash line. Then taking that same pencil brush, I'm just going to buff the two colors together. Then taking a Morphe 508, I'm going to pick up Vermeer and just pull that down onto the inner corner as well as right underneath on the inner corner. Taking that same brush, I'm going to pick up Tempera and I'm going to be applying this on the brow bone. Then taking that Morphe 441 and I'm just going to buff that out so there's no harsh line. For highlighter today, I'm going to be using two different kinds, and the first one is technically a bronzer, but that's not a bronzer. It is from Wet n Wild. It is the Color Icon bronzer with SPF 15 in it, but this is in the color Reserve Your Cabana. So I'm just going to be taking a big fluffy fan brush and I'm going to lightly dust this down the entire center of my face. And then also just take it all over the cheeks. I love to use that to give me like that all over glow feel. Then for my regular highlighter, I'm going to be going in with the Sleek, there you go, Sleek Makeup highlighting palette, and this is the Solstice palette. And I'm going to be picking up this color right here on a Morphe 510 brush. I'm going to take this down the center of my nose and then on the tip as well. Then on the cheekbones. And then I'm just going to take a little onto the apple of my cheek. Then on my Cupid's bow, as well as my chin. Picking up a very little bit because this stuff is very intense, and I'm just going to lightly dust it above the brow to give them a little lift. Going back in with that E3, and I'm going to dust away the baking. For my brow gel, I'm going to be using the brow gel from the Brow Gal. This stuff, I got this in one of my BoxyCharms. This stuff is like super glue. I put this on my face and I can like kind of, if I go like this, I can kind of feel the tightness, which I love because it's making my brows stay in place. So this stuff has quickly become my go-to brow product. I'm actually going to set my face now and then put on my mascara because I have noticed my lower lashes are a little on the longer side and they sometimes sit underneath my eye. So I will get the black dots if I spray my face after I put my mascara on. So I'm going to set my face now using the MAC Fix Plus spray. And I've said it before, but I will say it again. If you don't feel like you've been hosed off, personally, I think you don't have enough setting spray on, so you should keep spraying. So I'm actually going to be layering my setting sprays today, and I'm also going to be putting on the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day in green tea. I am going to go and put on some mascara and lashes off camera, but really quickly I wanted to tell you guys what lashes I'm going to be wearing. Now these are the Ardell Wispy lashes, and what I did was I basically cut off the outer third and then I glued it on top of the lash. And I have noticed that if I wear my lashes this way, they don't bother me at all. I mean, I can wear them for 10 hours straight and they don't lift off, they don't bug me, because when I set them on, they only hit about here on my eye. So like when I'm blinking or when I squeeze my eye shut, I don't get that inner corner problem at all, which has made my lash life a lot easier. So I'm gonna go pop these on off camera and I'll be right back. Now the last step for this look is the lips. I wanted to do something a little bit more ombre, but stick with that purpley pink tone. So I'm going to be lining my lips with Herion by MAC. For lipstick, I'm going to go in with Brave. This is also from MAC. Now I'm going to go back in with Herion and just kind of blend the two together around the edges a little bit better. And that is it for this look. I really hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. You can also follow me on Snapchat, which is MariaBmakeup, and on Instagram, which is Maria_B_makeup. I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye. Using two different... Oops. Talk to you later. Yo, what? I'm in a mess. My pants look like it snowed.